I am Tim. This is my beautiful bride, Amy.
Hi, we're excited to share with you tonight about some very exciting technology.
Yeah. Just to get started here, if you're brand new and somebody said you just need to hear about this stem cell technology, we agree. We totally agree that everybody needs to hear about this. It is something brand new and it's patented, which is really cool. We're going to go through a few slides with you, and I think it will really turn on some lights as far as what's been going on with our health in our country and how we all can make it better. I know for me, I am not a health professional. Let me start there. I, I'm not a doctor or even a nurse, but I did take first aid. I took CPR. I'm an electrical engineer, and so we want to communicate to you a lot of things that were shown to us by some friends. And all these tests and studies are all from doctors and people who are deeply entrenched in the medical field, and tons of medical studies. The patent, we're going to go through all that. This is science-based stem cell technology. Okay, so what do we know about stem cells? Most people here have probably heard about stem cells and heard maybe it can do some good things, but probably it's expensive because most people, when they hear stem cells, they think stem cell injections. And that's pretty much the only option for most people. If you're anything like me, you probably have some loved ones that you care about that maybe are having some health challenges that you'd like to help. Or maybe you have some people in your life that are young and healthy and you want to see them remain young and healthy and live a long, vibrant life wherever you're at, kind of like my wife here. Wherever you're at, that's what we're here to talk about tonight and how this technology can help you. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about stem cells in general, and then we're going to get into the actual technology just for a few minutes. Okay, so stem cells make up every good thing in our body. They're in all of our organs and joints and everywhere. So you probably have heard of somebody, they had a bad knee, they got stem cell injections or whatever. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We don't promote stem cell injections, but as we age, our stem cells in our body that we're born with, they go dormant. Think of it this way: when a little kid's riding a bike down the road, 6-year-old kid, maybe they fall off the bike at 10 miles an hour and hit the cement, which we've had that happen a lot with our kids in the past. They bounce back within a couple hours. They literally bounce back. But if an 85-year-old person's riding that same bike and they fall off at half the speed or just fall off, probably going to break a hip, need stitches, go to the hospital. Could be a bad deal. What's happening is we're aging because all these stem cells are going dormant. This is what doctors tell us. So by the time we're 30, we're down to about 50% of our stem cells are active. Here's the good news: they don't actually leave our body, they just go dormant. So they're still in there. By the time we're 60, though, we're down to 10%. And so, what the quote unquote medical field or big pharma, whatever way you want to look at it, what they recommend is get stem cell injections, and they do work for some people. Dr. Leland Stillman, who's trained as an MD, he's a licensed medical doctor. He researched all things stem cells. And it's his opinion that we shouldn't probably get stem cell injections. There's another way. And so he recommends this technology we're going to talk to you about tonight. It's called photobiomodulation, because it works for more people. And here's what stem cell injections advertise: it'll cure aches and pains and Parkinson's and cancer and heart issues and gout and plantar fasciitis, all these things. And for a small portion of the people, according to Dr. Leland Stillman, it does work. Here's the problem: there's something in our body called copper peptides. If the copper peptide is not stimulated, it's likely that stem cells that get put into our body, wherever they come from, some of them are bad, they come from bad places. That's why a lot of people go to different countries to do it. Those stem cells could likely die. And here's what Leland Stillman said. So here's a medical doctor that researched all this. He said, of the people that get results, they get mediocre results. My shoulder hurt, I got an injection, and 3, 4, 5 months later, I had to get another injection. 3 months later, I had to get another one. And at $3,000 to $5,000 a throw, it gets pretty expensive. He said some people get really good results, but that's less than 10%. He said somewhere around 5% of the people, my knee hurt, I got an injection, it worked for 2 years, it was great. But those are the people they put on the billboard, and they make everybody think it works like that for everybody. It really doesn't. So the answer is get our own stem cells working. But before we talk about that, I want to say one more thing. Actually, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to have you listen to a doctor here. So this is Dr. Eric Weiss. I found him, I think, on Instagram, and he is an MD and a plastic surgeon. Seems like a nice enough guy. So he does plastic surgery, but he also does stem cell injections. So keep in mind, this is a doctor who is trained and he gives stem cell injections. The question is asked of him, how long do stem cell injections work? So listen to what he says. It's interesting that part of his income actually comes from stem cell injections, but he's honest here. It's pretty cool. This is less than a minute, but listen to this.
Many people ask how long stem cells last. That's a tough question, to answer. The Duke study showed that benefits were found starting at about 1 month and then going up to 6 and then plateauing. Stem cells are kind of immunologically privileged, but the more they work, the more they start to express something called HLA antigens. And then the body picks them up as foreign and eliminates them. The stem cells are never designed to live long term in your body. They're designed to signal your body to heal itself, start the healing process, and then go away.
So here's a guy that's saying you're going to get stem cell injections. They're not designed to work long term. They go into your body to start a healing process, and then they go away. So we introduce.
So this is what we're here to talk about tonight. This is the X39 patch. Looks like a sticker. We'll tell you a little bit more how to wear it tonight, but this is very potent for how little this is. So this is the patch.
This nanocrystal technology, patented. You can see it's about the size of a quarter in that guy's hand there. It's got much power to it. So we're gonna introduce you to the person who actually created it. His name is David Schmidt. Now, David Schmidt, again, I am not a medical person, but as being an engineer, I appreciate everything that this guy talks about. I appreciate that he's got 200 patents to his name. I knew a couple people that had a patent or two, one guy that had 4, but it's very rare. It's extremely rare to have 200 patents to your name. So he's a scientist, inventor. Most of the things that he's worked on, he specialized in photobiomodulation, red light therapy, really a lot of attention to stem cell research, okay? And this little patch here that Amy just showed you, here it is without the backing on it. You can see the actual technology right there. That's what's patented. He took 10 years and studied this X39 patch. They did all these medical studies, double-blind placebo tests, peer-reviewed a lot of them, and they put the results with the patent application. Now, if you don't know a lot about getting a patent, what it takes, let's just say hypothetically, I go to the patent office and I say, I want to get a patent. I made this little red pill, and what this pill does is it makes hair grow. Now, the first thing that they would do is say, get out of here, Baldy, because obviously it doesn't work. You're bald, so obviously the pill doesn't make your hair grow. All joking aside, whatever I say that this pill does, it has to go through FDA as well, but I have to prove to the patent office that it actually does. And how do I prove that? Bring my wife and she tells a good story? No, I have medical studies. So that's what David Schmidt did. He applied for the patent. Again, patents over the medical studies over a 10-year period. And here's the patent as it was issued in 2020, July 21st, 2020. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's pretty long, but let's just read a little bit as we pulled out some of this text in the patent about halfway down. Effect of providing phototherapy to the human body. So that's this little thing does is phototherapy. We're going to explain next exactly how that works. Now, because the phototherapy happens in the human body, what does it do? It elevates copper peptide. Remember, that's what we talked about. That's probably why a lot of people have challenges with stem cell injections. It's kind of like if I have a headache because I'm dehydrated and I just take an ibuprofen, it only masks the problem. It doesn't take it away. I needed water. That's going to help with my headache, okay? So we elevate the copper peptide. Very next line, including activation of stem cells. Because you activated your own stem cells, you have improvements of energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction of inflammation, which helps with so many different things, management of pain, improvements of stamina, elevation of collagen production, improved wound healing, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to go through a bunch of that, and we're going to show you proof of all of those things. Before we get into that, let's talk about how this little patch works, and then we're going to explain some more details of it. But visuals help. They help me anyway. So this little patch right here will go on the back of your neck is the best place to put it, and we'll explain why here in a minute. We all have infrared light. Everything in God's creation that's alive has infrared light or frequency, or both. Human beings have both that we emit out. Now, those of you that are in the military or have ever hunted at night, or you've ever watched a war movie, you're familiar with night vision goggles. Night vision goggles actually work by infrared. The infrared light that's coming out of our human body. So what David Schmidt figured out, and this is part of his patent, is he reflects that infrared light back into our body at a certain frequency that elevates the copper peptide that brings our own stem cells back to life, which is totally awesome. It's way better than bringing something foreign in. Probably most people on here have heard of red light therapy. You can go to a spa or something like that, or I was just in BJ's the other day, and they have this little mask you can buy and put red light therapy on your face. And so there's all different spectrums of red light that doctors are trying to figure out which one's best. Well, the best is what's in your body already. That's what's going to work best. So let's watch this minute 48-second video. We'll be right back. This is unbelievable how this technology works. Check this out.
Light, an ancient form of energy that goes back to the dawn of time. For us, it all begins with the sun, the source of light and life for our entire solar system. Even Einstein concluded that everything we're made of contains light. All life originates with the sun through photosynthesis. Plants and vegetation collect the light, and all living creatures emit light. Humans actually emit infrared light, which can be seen with night vision devices. We've known for centuries that light has many effects on the body. LifeWave's phototherapy patches use light to stimulate the body's natural healing systems, providing specific health benefits. Here's how the technology works. First, a patch is applied to specific points on the body. Where the patch covers the skin, infrared light emitted from the body is reflected back into the tissue. This stimulates the skin, which in turn stimulates specific regions of the brain. The brain then taps into the body's own natural flow of energy and the ability to heal itself. Let's take a look at why this is important on a cellular level. For example, a number of our patch products help counteract free radicals, oxygen molecules that damage cell proteins and contribute to visible signs of aging. When the body is stimulated through phototherapy to release its own antioxidants, these free radicals are neutralized naturally.
So how the X39 works is it's a proprietary form of phototherapy, which you just kind of saw in that video. It's patented nanocrystal technology, no drugs, chemicals, or stimulants, which is my favorite part of this. It reflects light to activate, which again, you just saw in that video. It's non-transdermal and non-invasive, so nothing is going into your body. All it's doing is stimulating your own stem cells and those copper peptides.
So where do they get the stem cells to put in this patch that go in your body?
They're actually in your body, and that reflects the light to activate your own, so nothing is going into your body.
And here's one of my favorite examples of this. When I grew up in Michigan, Amy and I both did, and it's very gloomy in Michigan. There's not a lot of sun. So when the sun finally does come out, by the time that comes out, everybody's like depressed because they haven't seen the sun in so long. And my mom used to tell me, go outside and get some sun. It'll give you vitamin D. It'll put you in a good mood. How many have ever heard this before? Go get some sun, give you vitamin D, put you in a good mood. The sun actually does not give us vitamin D. According to doctors, this is one of the things I heard Leland Stillman say and other doctors, the sun stimulates a cholesterol on your skin, a certain cholesterol, that your body creates the vitamin D. So if you think about that, it does kind of make sense. There's not vitamin D flying out of the sky, right? It just stimulates your skin. Your body creates the vitamin D. So there's an old wives' tale. Sorry to break that to you. But the other one is, if you eat, you can swim before 30 minutes after. So that's another one from Michigan we used to learn. I don't know why our parents told us that, but you can swim right
You're
away.
going to get cramps.
Yeah, you get cramps and drown.
So some of the benefits of the X39, and this is just a few of them, is increased strength, reduced inflammation, increased stamina, energy and vitality with energy and vitality, which I had within the first few days, which I was so excited about. Mental clarity, which we hear a lot about, that brain fog is gone. Restored muscle or skeletal conditions, improved sleep, which you have a great testimony on, which a lot of people do, and improved skin appearance.
Yeah, the mental clarity one, we hear that a lot.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's the first day, sometimes
Yeah.
3 days. It could be a couple weeks, but mental clarity is like people mostly don't realize they have it. It's,
Yeah.
you know, when you walk into a room, you're like, what am I in here for? Oh, my car keys. Yeah, that's right, my car keys. You ever do that? You walk into a room, you don't know why you're there. Well, that'll happen less. It's just like the fog is lifted. I just heard a guy say that the other day. He said, I didn't even know I was foggy, but I'm so clear now. And some of that could be because of reduced inflammation and improved sleep. I know for me, I was not sleeping well. I hadn't slept more than 5 hours in 5 years, some nights only 3 to 4 hours, and I just thought that was normal. I don't know if you are struggling with sleep or if you know somebody's struggling with sleep. What if? What if this technology could help with that? If Amy and I do our job here tonight, by the end of this, you'll be saying, you know what? I want to try this. How do I order some of these patches? I want to try them, and I have some loved ones that could benefit from this as well.
So just within the first few days of wearing the patch, 4,000 genes begin to reset. The brain becomes more balanced, which you'll see a topography map shortly here of a 77-year-old woman's brain that they track, and you can actually see that study. The collagen increases and the heart reverses in age, which is incredible to me that they can say that because they've seen that. They have the study on that.
Yeah. And here it is right here. So again, these studies were over a 10-year period. And this one is actually from one of the medical studies I read online. This is a 77-year-old yoga instructor. So two criteria had to be true here to be in this study. Number one, you have some kind of cognitive challenge. They didn't really define that other than, you know, I've heard people say that it was like I couldn't remember things or having trouble structuring sentences, whatever. And then you couldn't be on any kind of drugs or stimulants. So this was true of this lady, otherwise healthy. So they did a brain scan of her, and you can see the red equals inflammation. So they put the patch on the back of her neck. Amy's going to show you specifics of that in a minute. And then by session 2, they did another scan 3 weeks later, and the inflammation's almost totally gone. Better brain coherence by session 3, 6 weeks, wearing the patch, only 12 hours a day. She's totally back to herself, better brain coherence. Pretty awesome.
So how you're going to wear it, you wear it 12 hours a day. So as those 12 hours that you're wearing, you're going to elevate, activate, and regenerate those stem cells. So like for me, I get up around 7 or 7:30 in the morning. I put my patch on. By 7 or 7:30 at night, I'm going to take it off. You do need those 12 hours off for your body to recuperate. So it doesn't do any more to wear it longer. You actually only need it for those 12 hours. So
it actually becomes less effective the more
right.
you wear it. Yeah. If you do.
The first few days that we got it, I was like, oh, I'm going to wear it longer. Well, first of all, I couldn't sleep because it does give you energy, which I love that about it. But and you really just shouldn't. You need that time off. So
yeah, and one more thing. Remember that they did these medical studies over a 10-year period, so they checked it at 4 hours, 24 hours, 72 hours, everything in between. They determined that for the body, 12 hours is the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the two best places to wear the patch, as you can see on the slide, they're between the shoulder blades, on the neck area, or 2 fingers below the belly button. Those are the 2 best areas that reflect the most light. So
and you
yeah,
can see here, yeah. So this is the infrared scan of a male facing backwards like this. And then you look right above his bum. You're looking through below the pelvis, as Amy pointed out there.
So those are the 2 best places. So each day you're going to put a new patch on, and you can wear multiple patches. So if you put your patch on in the morning and you put it on the back of your neck and your knee hurts, your shoulder hurts later on as the day goes, you can put a patch on that area. But you do want to drink a lot of water with this.
So will I feel these stem cells coming into my body from the patch?
No. You might be thirsty, which that just means everything's working.
Yeah.
No, you will not.
Because there is no stem cells going in your body. It's your own stem cells. It's really, that's why this thing is patent. You know, when you get a patent on something, the government has agreed that this is so unique. It's so unique that we're going to protect it so nobody else can make this for a period of time. And I think there's about 18 years left on this patent, something like that, 17 or 18 years. So, and they're going to reapply for an extension, of course. So, as Amy said, you can wear one or two. We got some testimonies of people that have wore multiples. You don't have to. You really only need one, but there might be times when you want to wear more than one. Okay, now what we want to point out to you is you don't have to have any of these ailments for it to work for you. Um, Amy is obviously very young and
I'm not very young.
in great shape, and she worries about her fitness. She eats right. She works out 6 days a week. She's one of those people. She works out enough for both of us, so I don't have to work out. I just stand next to her.
The point that he's making is that I felt like I was fairly healthy when we started this, and so all it did is make me feel even better. So, and I want to continue to feel that way, keep any disease or anything at bay. So you don't necessarily have to have ailments or conditions to use the patch. It's for anybody. And I will just say that I didn't realize that I was lacking energy or brain fog and even had some inflammation until I started the patch. And I just feel even better. And I'm I'm mid 50s, so I'm not that young, but it makes me feel like a lot younger than I am. So
Yeah.
it definitely has helped.
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to show you some proof now. Everything we've talked about, the patent, the medical studies, all that, it's all available to you. And all these doctors that we're referencing, they actually, and I'm going to play a short video at the end here too of another doctor, who's a doctor for 40 years. They've researched it all. And so the proof is in the pudding though. Show me some pictures. A picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So the proof is in the pudding on the patch. This young lady here is 93 years old. My young wife here worked for a global cosmetic company for 10 years, went to all this schooling, trained, and she launched her own skincare line. So she understands what's going on in the human skin. What are we looking at here, honey?
Well, her skin looks great. For my knowledge, like I don't know very many topical creams that can soften fine lines like that. Some of them actually look like they're gone, not just softened. So
Yeah.
it took at least probably 10 years off of her.
And I don't know how you define a fine line in a crater, but she literally looks like, like you said, 10 years. She still looks like she's an older lady, but she looks like she's 83, not 93. I think that's the big thing.
That looks great.
Yeah. And so if her skin's doing that much better, how much better is the rest of her body doing?
Well, in the first lady, like again, you can see, she's got makeup on in the second picture, not in the first one, but you can still see significantly on her neck and chest and around her mouth, the lines are reduced for sure.
Yeah.
And then the sunspots or age spots, but usually their sunspots or sun damage are significantly lighter in the second picture for him. Like even skin looks even smoother.
Yeah, we have several people on our team in Florida that have that. I'll probably get them. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't got them yet, but maybe because of the patch. But there's a guy on our team in Florida who I think within 5 or 6 days has started to fade. And I think they're totally gone now. It's just crazy. How about this one?
The same. It really looks like the picture should be reversed. It took probably 10 years off of her neck and chest. That's significantly reduced, and just her eyes and her mouth. Her skin, like it is age reversing, is which I know David Schmidt is all about age reversing, which it looks like that's what the patch is doing.
Yeah. So we have to say, and I would issue a caveat. I wonder why we have to say this. I'm old enough to remember you could watch a football game on TV and there wasn't all kinds of drug commercials trying to get you to take a pill that caused the side effect of a pill that caused the side effect of now you need an injection. Who's with me? We have to say this is not intended to treat, cure, diagnose any kind of disease or condition. But y'all can do the math, and then y'all should ask yourself, why do they have to say that? All right. So get my slide to work here. Sorry. So here's the next one. This is actually Renita Brannon's dad. So she blew up this picture. She wanted you to see the sores that are on the leg and the redness. Now, all I know is this is a result of sugar issues that he has. We'll just leave it at that. And 24 hours, she put 4 patches on his leg, and then 24 hours later, you can see the difference. That's literally massive change.
Oh, her skin looks so good. I have heard stories, and this is great to see this picture of X39 helping acne. And so this is fairly, I think this could be cystic acne. I'm not sure, but I mean, usually you go to a dermatologist and they've got to give you medication, which isn't usually very good for you. It's got a lot
Yeah.
of side effects.
Yeah.
And it makes me so happy for her to see that the X39,
And some
mean,
of
it
the
even
pitting's
helped her-
going away, right?
her
Yeah.
scarring, even.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what a blessing to her.
Mhm.
And I know she struggled with it for years, and this is like 5 months.
Varicose veins, or yeah, spider veins or varicose veins, like significantly lighter, like higher up on the back of the leg. Wow.
Yeah.
It
And
looks
only what? How
like
long?
5 weeks,
5,
maybe?
6 weeks? Yeah.
Yeah, 5 weeks.
Okay. We got a couple more here. This is we'll just call this circulation. This poor guy here. Actually, as I say, this poor guy, I hope that's a guy's foot. I don't actually know. I hope it is. Whatever. It looks like a painful foot. It looks like it's painful to
That's
stand
my
on.
foot.
Yeah. So look at this. 3 days later, they put the patch on there. 3 days later, look at the difference.
It's awesome.
Look at the difference. Even the ankle. Now, granted, this isn't a beautiful foot yet. They're probably not going to get any foot modeling jobs for Hawaiian Tropic or anything like that. But it looks like they can probably walk on it now.
Hawaiian Tropic is suntan.
Suntan, yeah. You got to have nice feet. The whole.
I've never noticed anybody's feet into suntan. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's not the focus. All right, bad example. All right, come on, get back with it. Water retention.
Oh,
How many of us know somebody that struggled with water retention? Somebody might be sitting here tonight watching this that is struggling with water retention. So look at day one, the scan, and then a picture, and then 3 weeks later, just wearing the patch on the back of the neck.
crazy.
Not intended to treat, cure, or mitigate any kind of disease or condition, but people sure do get lucky. So this is one that you'll see on TV a lot. Take this pill, take this shot to help you with different conditions. Before X39, look at the first picture. 10 days later, wearing on the back of the neck, skin is much clearer. What it does is it helps your body to work the way it was designed to work. Dry skin would be an understatement for this poor guy. He struggled with this for years. And I don't know if y'all know what corn huskers is. That's a really strong, I don't think that would even help that. But he wore this patch. It took, my understanding is it took about 5 months. So everybody's different. Some people, they get results right away. It depends on, where your body's at internally and skin conditions, all that stuff. And how much water you drink has a lot to do with it. You have to drink a lot of water. But it took about 5 months for this to clear up. And this one is cool too here, vitiligo.
Yeah, I believe that's how you say it. So, I mean, it's significant in the first picture. I think that's after 3 months. Around his forehead and his eyes, it's just about gone. And that's just 3 months. And then the bottom picture is 1 year. And it doesn't look like he has any left.
Yeah, we'll zoom in on that. So we did confirm last week, Mary Lou confirmed it for me that Michael Jackson did have that. I would have rather heard it from Tito. He didn't tell me, but Michael Jackson did have that. That's why he bleached his skin. What happens with this, it just gets more and more splotchy. There's no cure for it in the medical field, okay? So we're not claiming that it cures. We're just asking to look at the picture. Wound healing. This is actually David Schmidt's son. Snowboarding accident, day 1 and day 5. Look at the difference. He hit some trees and a rock. So this lady here had a strange condition where she had a nerve wrapped around her, attached to her jugular vein, and they had to go in there and do a surgery. You can see they opened her up quite a bit. And then she put 3 X39 patches right on her neck there. And then 10 days later, you can't even tell she had a surgery. It's pretty awesome. So this next one, I believe, is a picture of a young boy, 9 years old, got his fingertip caught in a door. And as we all would, he pulled on it, got it slammed in there. He pulled on it, tried to get it out. And he basically detached it. It was hanging on by a thread of skin. Okay, so this is kind of graphic, but it proves the point that so the dad takes him to the emergency room. The ER surgeon said there's nothing we can do. There's too much nerve damage. Keep that in mind. Nerve damage. If we sew the fingertip back on, it will just die. And they were right. The surgeon sewed it back on because the dad begged him to. And you can see the fingertip did, in fact, turn black. The dad put a couple patches on the finger, a couple more on the hand. And then 2 months later, you can see the difference there. This one is pretty awesome. If you know anything about the spine, now this was during the time when they were doing the medical studies before the patent was actually granted. So this subject here was in a car accident, and they recommended a 4-level fusion. And the guy elected not to get a fusion. You can see in the first picture there, the bulging. Your spinal cord is supposed to have 2 clear white lines down each side. That's a healthy spinal cord. And for instance, in the neck, when you have bulging like that, it pinches nerves. You have weakness in the hands, headaches, et cetera, et cetera. So about 18 months later, after wearing the patch on the back of his neck, you can see he did not have surgery. There's no hardware in his neck. And the same guy, different MRI, you can see the spinal cord is right how it's supposed to be. The surgeon actually called it a miracle, although he probably wasn't happy because he lost a customer. Okay, so dogs, cats, horses, whatever. This little doggy here has pretty bad cataract, at least in one eye. So they put a patch behind the collar, and then 2 days later, wearing the X39, you can see it's almost totally cleared up. Every once in a while, we hear people say, well, I need to talk to my doctor. You can talk to your doctor, but here's the reality. This is a non-transdermal. There's nothing going into your body that wasn't there in the first place. So literally a supplement goes into your body. This does not go into your body. This reflects something that was already in your body. But anyhow, Mike Tyson has doctors. I think we would agree with that. Even if he goes into a ring and loses, he still makes millions of dollars. So he has doctors. His doctors check it out, and they recommend it for him. His doctor probably brought it to him. But you also have David Beckham, Serena Williams. You got, NASCAR drivers, Formula One drivers, whatever, military, runners, NFL, and all kinds of people that are saying, yep, this is a good deal. And listen to this. This is the doctor I was telling you about just a minute ago. So this is a MD. He's an anesthesiologist for 40 years. He's had his license for 40 years. And so he didn't just listen to Amy and I. He read the medical studies. He talked to people. He has referred people and gave them this patch and saw the results with his own eyes. He's read the patent. He understands this technology. Why? Because he's a doctor. Listen to what he says. This is awesome.
Physician who's had my license for 40 years and had a very strong biochemistry background and worked as an anesthesiologist, taking care of people's bodies in a very special way. I can say, and seeing what's happening with the X39, I can say without a doubt that this is the most significant medical breakthrough in my lifetime.
So there we go, from a 40-year doctor. Now, the last one, I just tell people, look, if you don't like this guy's politics, I've heard people say, I don't like how he talks, whatever. We have to admit that he's in really good shape. He's 71 years old. The guy's sitting in the leg press. He's 71 years old. He's in better shape than most 20-year-olds in our country. His name is RFK Jr. He's a Secretary of Health and Human Services of our country. And if you look in the back of his shirt there, you can see there's an X39 patch sticking out. That is, in fact, our patch. We know this because he had his staff reach out to David Schmidt, the founder of the company, and asked him to be on a stem cell research kind of committee thing, but it was too much of a time commitment. David Schmidt could not do it. He didn't agree, but I think he's offering some data and stuff like that. So pretty cool.
Oh, this is my part where the sleeve. So sorry. So this is how it comes. You're going to get a sleeve or an envelope, and it's got 30 patches in it. So it's about a month's worth if you wear just one every day.
Yeah. So what the marketing experts told David Schmidt was, because of the medical studies, the patent, all the testimonies they had, even at that point when they were getting the patent applied for, they said you could get $300 to $400 per sleeve easily. The market will bear that, and you could probably get more. And David Schmidt said, no, I want to bless more people. We're going to do $99 wholesale. And they told him he was crazy, but I really don't think he was. Here's what happened. So the first year the patent came out, 2021, some doctorly types, went out and tried to sell it. Well, doctors are good at being doctors, but most doctors are not trained in sales. They don't understand how the human psyche works. So they were reading the patent to people way too much. They were going through the medical studies. They were explaining to people in detail how photobiomodulation works, all this stuff that would just go right over my head. Well, there's a couple actually came along in 2022, Steve and Gina Merritt, and they figured out how to explain it basically by using what we showed you here tonight. A variation of this where the normal people who aren't trained in medical field like us can understand it. And they start thinking about things like, wow, you know, my kids could use this. My brother could use, my mom. I could use this. I got some issues myself, whatever. That year they sold 320 million. The next year, 430 million. 2024, $600 million. And I don't have the final number for 2025 yet, but if we didn't hit $1 billion, we got really close. And it's only marketed just like we're doing it. Because if you saw this on the shelf at Walgreens, you really wouldn't know what it is. Even if there's a couple pictures, it takes somebody to explain it. And so remember, contrast that with stem cell injections. We are not talking about stem cell injections, but contrast it with this. This is just, you could go research it. Some of you have probably had stem cell injections, or you know somebody that did. $3,000 to $10,000 for a single localized treatment. I literally just talked to a guy today in Mexico, a doctor. It's $3,000 for one treatment in Mexico, which is supposed to be a discount, right? In Tijuana, this fancy hospital in Tijuana, $3,000. So here in the States, it's obviously more, sometimes exceeding $50,000 if it's specialized. So $99 is a pretty good deal. And so here's what we recommend. You know, the way we see it, everybody knows somebody that either is healthy, they're really healthy, they work out and they care about their health and they eat right, but they want to preserve their joints and keep everything working good. Great, they need this patch. Or maybe they got problems with their joints or any other of the issues that we showed you here tonight, and they're a loved one, or maybe it's you. We think everybody needs to use this patch, okay? So here's what we recommend. Order your patches here. Pick whatever package works for you. We recommend the Advance. Here's why. This is what Amy and I did, and I'm going to tell you how it works with a lot of people. So you get 6 sleeves for $535. And now that is a one-time deal, okay? So $535 one time, you get 6 of these sleeves. I wouldn't look at it as 6 months. Here's why. I used a sleeve. Amy used a sleeve. We have 4 kids. We were out in day 1. Now, we don't buy them for our kids anymore, but they got to buy their own. But $535, and then every sleeve after that is $99, okay? So let's say you don't have 4 kids. Well, if I buy the Advance, we get 6 sleeves. I'm going to use them, and then I know this guy at work that, man, he's had arthritis for years, or he's had headaches, or he's got plantar fasciitis, or whatever. I wonder if this would help him. We have most people will give these out. I see Dr. Kevin Rains on here tonight. Him and his wife were at somebody's house, and their dog was having issues, and they stuck a patch on their dog, and the dog started, it was limping, if I remember right. It had a little bit of a limp. They put the patch on the dog, and it helped right away. So you'll just give these out to people that you love and care about, okay? So everybody on here, if you have stem cells, which you do, hopefully that's how you got on here, you're alive, should use this patch.